Our next guest, an absolute legend. He's a 15-year NFL veteran who has done his thing with the Eagles, the Commanders, the Bucks, the Rams, the Raiders, and the Ravens. Three-time Pro Bowler, one of the best to ever do it. Certainly one of, if not the most exciting player to ever do it. DeSean, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm good. It's good to see you. You look great. We're ready to talk. It's week 18, so there's lots to get into. Let's start with your Philadelphia Eagles, okay? They were once sitting pretty at 10-1. Now they've lost. It's hard to read this. It's hard to believe this. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. So when you, DeSean Jackson, look at this team, what is the single biggest difference between the 10-1 Eagles squad and the one that just lost to the Cardinals?
Well, I think it's a few reasons. I'm a troll a little bit, because I see you over there asking like, "What's wrong with you?" You look great. You look great. I'm glad to be on the show, and your energy is always, uplifting. Your energy is always uplifting, first and foremost. But the Eagles, I think for one, it might be somewhat. I like to say like a con artist. I think they're losing on purpose. No, we don't lose on purpose in NFL because we take every game serious, but it's kind of reminded me of the year the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl. They lost I think their last 5-6 games. They went like 1-4, 1-5. And I think they just started off so hot. They got away from what their truly identity was. And when I say truly identity, running the ball, keeping the defense off guard, I think they got very comfortable. They was winning. It was some tough games they were winning, close games, winning by 3 points, 5.6 points. So I think after a while, when things kind of come easy to a team, regardless if it's easy or not, 10-1, they're running through the NFL. They had the best record in the NFL. I think they kind of took off their edge a little bit. They took their foot off the gas, and I think moving forward, they know now it's playoff ball. And knowing Philadelphia, them fans, the coaches, the culture, I don't think they have no more room for error. But I am kind of worried because of the ball. I mean, the style of the ball and the standard is not up to par right now, and I don't just think in the NFL you could just cut it off and cut it on at any time. So they got to step it up, but they got to run the ball. They got DeAndre Swift back there, man. They got to run the ball. They got to take the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands sometimes because he is the franchise quarterback. But sometimes let the players around you, kind of take the pressure off the QB.
Take the pressure off the QB. It's funny because you're saying it's almost like you have to dig deep and find something else. I feel like A.J. Brown kind of did that this week. He talked to the media. He was kind of silent after the game, which people didn't like. I like that. To me, that's like, I'm not ready to talk right now. I'm going to be a grown-up and I'm in control of myself and let myself feel what I'm feeling and then come and talk to you guys about how I'm going to be accountable. So when it comes to the offense, how do they do this? How do they dig deep? Like if you're saying it's so hard to just all of a sudden turn it on, what needs to be fixed? Because to me, a lot of what I'm hearing is Brian Johnson and the play calling.
Yeah, I mean, me honestly and obviously, I'm a person that's sitting back viewing things that played the game at a high level. My intake on it is I feel like A.J. Brown had a run for 5, 6, 7 games, and it was like let's figure out ways to kind of keep getting him the ball. Let's let him get over 100 yards, because he had the record where I think it was like 7 or 8 games, if I'm not mistaken, that he went over 100 and something yards. So I think, honestly, it's not about one individual. He's a heck of a player and, he's done some amazing things, but you got some other great weapons on the team, So I feel like just spread the ball around a little bit. Play club ball, you know what I'm saying? Like get everybody involved because when you get everybody involved, it kind of keeps the defense off guard, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want to kind of keep Brian Johnson, going to the certain plays where, all right, now it's becoming a point where defenses know exactly what you're doing. You kind of have to play chess with these defenses. You got to, and not only that too, they run up against some heck of a teams. The losses we did take the past few weeks has been teams that are, going to be in the playoffs and play some great ball. So, I mean, I would rather lose to a team during the season and win during the playoffs. So, they might could take that win during the season and, we come back and win in the playoffs. Hopefully that's the play.
Do you feel like is the magic with this team?
Do I feel like it? Honestly, if I'm going to be real with you, I feel like they kind of let me down a little bit, because I'm pride in Eagles, Philadelphia, heart and soul. And I do feel like we took a dip. And during them times, we lost to the Cowboys. Even though the Cowboys are, I ain't going to say a great team. I'm not going to say a great team because, it's very personal. But I think the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, they're playing lights out. Mika Parsons is playing crazy. CD Lamb is somebody else that's been playing crazy ball. They just got some good chemistry going on. So I think, the teams we went against, 49ers, Cowboys, a few other teams we lost. So I think just during that time, they had our number and they beat us. So I am worried. I am. But we got to get it together.
I know what you're doing, DeSean. You're doing exactly what this team needs. They need something to dig deep, and they have DeSean Jackson, Philly legend, saying that they disappointed him. Like they're going to go and play their asses off and turn things around. At least. I know Philly's not doing their thing for you. You were part of the Ravens. I don't know how much you love them or how much you own them, but the team you were on last season. They're the clear favorites to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, in large part due to Lamar Jackson and how he's playing right now. Compared to last season, what do you think is the biggest uptick in production for him and how he's looking?
Ching ching. Nah. I mean, honestly,
What did you say?
I said ching ching, but nah. I don't.
Okay.
I don't like to say it's all about money, but when you take care of your players and you make the commitment to showing the quarterback they're highly invested in, you're our guy. I mean, that can move mountains. And for Lamar, when I was there last year, his talent and his playmaking skill ability obviously was second to none in the NFL. I feel like he's hands down one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in the league. He's a playmaker, and his energy just being in the huddle, man. Sometimes you go in the huddle and he's like, man, I don't care what this play is. You get open, and it just shows, just the camaraderie he has, the trust he has. And, me being honestly, I was on the team last year and I was on the roster, but I feel like the playmaking skills, the playmakers around him right now has probably been hands down the best he's had yet to this day. And, they're just playing together, man. They're having fun. Todd Monken came in. I actually was with him in Tampa Bay when I was there. He's came in and, calling some great plays. And I just think they're hands down one of the best, not even one of the best. They're hands down the best team in the NFL right now. And I feel like they're playing lights out football.
They don't even have Mark Andrews back yet. A lot of people were like, this team's going to be toast.
Yeah.
They lost the focal point of their offense. Mark Andrews is likely to come back, apparently. They add Dalvin Cook. It's only hopefully going to make the offense better. So is there a weakness in this team? Does this team have an Achilles heel at all?
My only concern would be, and it's not even really a concern because I know they're focused. And like I said, I was in that locker room last year, and I know John Harbaugh is, he's second to none when it comes to respect. He has the locker room, and I feel like they have a mission, and I think that they won't be let down because Lamar and the guys around him, Odell. I mean, you got some veteran leadership there, and you got guys around them that they're used to winning. So what I will say, I don't see the letdown. I honestly say, and I've been saying this since early in the season, I already felt they was going to be in the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to prove me right this year.
I'm tiptoe around talking about Todd Monken too much. You spent time with in Tampa, because I feel like when you do that, just Lamar, for people like to take away from Lamar, right? It's the
Right.
this, it's the that. What do I need? So I don't like talking about him, but he's obviously a big part of this. He's letting Lamar, cutting him loose, letting him do stuff. What do I need to know about Todd? I don't know much about him. You've spent more time with him than me. So what do I need to know? What's he made of?
Honestly, it's a great question, and I don't want to toot the horn too much either because when I was with him, he was a wide receiver coach. And what I will say though, when he was a wide receiver coach in Tampa Bay, him and Derek Cutter, they actually let Todd Monken run the offensive coordinator, not offensive coordinator, but he had the offensive coordinator role. But in meetings, even though Derek was calling all the plays in game, Derek Cutter, he did all the installations and he went over all the plays and meetings and stuff. So as far as the deliverable and, him just standing up in front of a team and kind of being strategic and saying the ins and outs of why we're putting this play in, what are the reads, what we're looking for. He's very formulated on the offense. And I know he knows his, when it comes down to offense. So, he was in college and he proved that when he was in Georgia. I think national championship they won. And his success is kind of in the proof. You know what I'm saying? His success is in the proof. And me and him kind of had a little odds when he was my wide receiver coach in Tampa. But one thing I would never do is hate on the individual and their work of craft. And I think he's doing a great job. And not to forget my boy T. Martin over there, the quarterback coach. This is his first year, even though he was there last year, wide receiver coach. This is T. Martin's first year actually in the quarterback room with Lamar. And I think that's a great relationship to gel together as well, too, because T. Martin played this position in the NFL, in college, and played it at a pretty high level as well.
It's really well said by you. I don't know that you had a thing with Todd, but it's very big of you to say that he's doing well and everyone's doing well.
Sure.
Sorry, I don't know that, DeSean. But let's talk about the AFC East, because you got the Dolphins, we got the Bills, big game Sunday night, division on the line. Tyreek Hill, game changer, first player in NFL history to have 1,700 yards, multiple seasons, D-Jax. Walking boot, fighting through pain during games. He hasn't had a 100-yard game or scored a touchdown since the sort of ankle stuff happened. Even though he's out there, how concerning is this ankle? And I'm asking you this because I've seen you have some injuries. I know that the way you play, given the way Tyreek plays, how worried should I be about the ankle?
Well, Tyreek, first off, salutes, hats off. Feel like he's on my heels when it comes down to the 60-yard, 50-yard touchdowns and the deep threats and the deep touchdowns. So, I want to congratulate him. I have a great relationship with him as well. We chat throughout the season. The respect is always there. And, what he's done over the past 2 years, 1,700 in back-to-back seasons, never been heard of, never been done before. So I want to give him his flowers for that. You can't overlook that. That's a very hard thing to do. And playing receiver in this league for 15 years, I know what goes into it day in and day out, especially when you're a deep threat, when you're making the plays you make. I know these defensive coordinator, these defensive players are honing in on you and trying to figure out everything they need to do to stop you. So I want to say I congratulate him for that. And as far as the injury he's dealing with right now, I did an interview maybe like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and this is right around when he got hurt. And I kind of predicted he would beat the record, I think, over 2K, because he said he that's what goal he wanted to reach. And I said he was going to do it. And he kind of, I ain't going to say he let me down because I know he's going through an injury, but I kind of predicted he might still do it, but it was going to be tough for him to get the record. But I mean, an injury, man, anytime you're a wide receiver and you run fast and, your feet or your legs is like the tires in the car, it's going to be an issue, first and foremost. So I know he's doing everything he could do to get his treatment, getting massages, I'm sure, acupuncture, needling, all the stuff he needs to do. He's a professional. I'm not worried at all because I know when it's time for him to get on that field, I see the dog he has in his heart. So I'm not really concerned. I think they'll get this game. Last week was a tough game. The Ravens put a spanking on them. So I think going into the playoffs, this is a must win for both teams. But I think the Dolphins will show up and show out, and Tyreek will do his thing this week.
It's amazing. And while you're answering that question, my producer just said, we have to give DeSean his flowers, too. 10 touchdowns. This is like the most insane shit. I can't say any other word. This is the most insane thing. 10 touchdowns, 75-plus yards is insane. 35 touchdowns of 50-plus. Is he on your heels? I don't know.
Hey, I watch football. I do a lot of sitting back, analyzing. It's gonna be tough. Just put it that way. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's gonna be easy, but I feel like the plays he makes, man. It's so resemblance of me, and it's like, man, it's like almost kind of seeing. Even though we're a different style of players, he's a little more bulkier. He's like more like a running back, and he can take hits and do all the other stuff. I didn't really like taking hits, so for me, it's just I kind of see a lot of similarities, and like I said, I just respect this game. So I do. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like I don't be seeing these 50, 60-yard touchdowns. Like, oh shoot, what number is that? Like, I hope he don't get me. But if he does, records are meant to be broke. First and foremost, I say it here on the Up and Adams show. Records are meant to be broken. If it could be anybody else, I don't want to lose my record. But if it's anybody else, Tyreek, man, go get it, brother.
I love that you're saying that. Tyreek has 26 50-plus years. So, DeSean, you still have him by 9. I believe.
Hey, the eras of this football stuff is a little different now. They got an extra game, you know. They can't get hit
There we
as
go.
hard. They can't get hit as hard. You know, these defenders got to be a little more careful. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's
I
like
love
I
it.
don't know. I feel like when I was out in the field, for some reason, I just feel like I was always getting double teamed. It was like we can't let him get one-on-one coverage. It's like the safety's like 30 yards back. But sometimes when I'm watching these games now, it's like these defenders just like, go ahead, just run right by me. Like last year when they played the Dolphins, I mean not the Dolphins, the Ravens, and
Yeah.
he got like 2 touchdowns back to back. Like the Ravens was up like 3 touchdowns. How are you letting Tyreek Hill score 2 touchdowns over 50 yards? Like if we're up 3 touchdowns and I'm the defensive coordinator, y'all better get to the goal line. Like why are we coming up and biting on play fakes and looking in the backfield when you got Tyreek Hill on the field? Like it don't make no sense. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Here's what we're gonna do, because I don't think you're done. So I think you can still make a gap bigger. You can go
Think
back and
so?
join an offense. I do.
Do you think
I do.
so?
I'm surprised.
Dang.
We'll get to Andy. Andy Reid. I don't know what Andy Reid's doing. Is his phone bill not paid? I don't know why you're not on that team. I don't get it. We can get into it. But you could go join an offense, get those numbers up, and then you can bounce mid-season and become a defensive coordinator in the AFC East, because it sounds like you know how to put a stop to Tyreek Hill.
Well, listen, I was on the other side of it, so I know how they stopped me. And I used to be so frustrated, so mad. I used to have to talk to Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was the mentor to me, and I used to call him sometimes. I'm like, Jerry, how the heck did you be able to beat double coverage? Because I feel like being a great wide receiver in the NFL, when you beat single coverage, that's great. Once you master beating a double coverage,
That's
that's
great.
next level. That's next level. And Jerry Rice was able to master that. And you know, he told me, he's like, yeah, it's cool 1-on-1, but you figure out how to beat double coverage, and when they're honed in on you and taking you out the game, then that's when you're doing something. So I definitely think I got some insights on how to be a defensive coordinator.
I'd love to see it. Move over Spagnuolo, or you got to get on that team. Wait, listen, you came on our show a couple of weeks ago so graciously with your time. It was about over a month ago now. I was sure that I was going to at least hear something happen with the Chiefs. Nothing from Coach Andy?
Yeah, Coach Reed, man. It's like Coach Reed. I named like 3 teams. Yeah, and I think Coach Reed, he knows me. So he's probably like, oh, D Jack's living in LA. He's back home. He's enjoying life. He doesn't want to wake up at 6, 7 in the morning and go work out. Like I tell a lot of people, like, you know, yeah, I can go still play, but do I love the Monday through Friday grind? Not really. Do I miss Sundays and Monday nights and Thursdays? Yeah, that's what I miss. But at the end of the day, I think he probably just like, man, D Jack just turned 37. He's home. He's with his kids. He's enjoying life, you know. But for me,
Is he
I
right?
definitely he might be a slight percentage. But when we talked and you asked me what teams would I consider coming back for out of retirement, and I told you he was that the Kansas City Chiefs was one of those teams, because I do know his offense, and I would love to, you know, have a chance to play with Patrick Mahomes. So you know, I put you get me riled up, and I give you a little something to go back and put out, and you know, I don't hear nothing, so they might just think I'm washed up. I might not be good enough no more. I don't know.
I have no idea, but they've got struggle. You're definitely not washed up, but they've got all these struggles on offense this season, especially with the wide receivers. Mahomes has also never played in a road playoff game. DeSean, are we
Yeah,
concerned about these Chiefs?
100% concerned. I've been concerned all year. The young guy, I don't know his name, but number 4, he's actually had one of these years up and down, up and
Rice.
down. But yeah, Rice. What I will say is, to be a rookie and to be thrown in that situation with a quarterback like Mahomes, especially these defenses focusing so much on Kelsey. I kind of like how he turned it on the past few weeks. He's been playing a little consistent ball, even though he drops here and there. I think he's close to breaking 1,000 yards if he hasn't already broke it. But I just think they need a little more help at receiver. He's doing a better job, and I'm giving him his credit, but I still think it's some other guys that can step up in areas that Mahomes is going to need for sure.
All right, DeSean, we're going to have a little fun with you before you go. You've been known to talk some trash in your day. You wear these amazing goggles. By the way, here's one of your best shade touchdown celebrations from your career. Talk me through this one.
I was so mad that the Eagles released me. That was 2014, first year in Washington. I was bitter. I ain't gonna lie. I love the
They cut it.
Philadelphia. I love the Philadelphia. Yeah, they cut it. They knew why. I love
Yeah.
Philadelphia. The
Do we
coach.
have the longer cut of that? Hold on, I want time calling. Hey, control room, do we have do we have that full touchdown? All right, they cut it too early. DeSean, talk me through this first.
Well, first off, Kerry Williams, that's my boy. Nate Allen. I knew you was gonna cut that crossing route. Heck of a play. Jay Gruden called up. Kirk Cousins put it out there. Going back to the celebration, I was bitter. I was mad. Chip Kelly cut me the year before. First game back in Philly. I don't know if it was the first or second game. First game back in Philly, and I'm like, man, when I score, I'm gonna do the Eagle because I used to always do the Eagle celebration, and I'm like, I'm kicking the Eagle.
Yeah.
And it hurt my heart to do it, but I had to do it. Eagles fan, I had to do it. I was hurt. Chip Kelly released me, cut me. I was hurt. It was more towards Chip Kelly. It wasn't to the Eagles fans.
It was your first game back. It was absolutely amazing. I can't believe we cut it off. Glad we got the thing in full. Well, it brings us to a little something that we're calling, and it was the first time you came on our show, you were wearing those awesome goggles. It's the DJax Shade Meter, DeSean. We're going to show you NFL players, some stories here that have sort of recently, had some things to say. You rate how good this is on a scale of 1 to 5. First one up, we have Justin Fields, big game for him. Oh my God, going to Lambeau, trying to spoil the Packers' playoff hopes. His future is at play. And here's what he had to say.
Their home field. I know their fans gonna be loud because there's not much to do in Green Bay except watch football. But it's gonna be a great environment for us to play.
What do you think? How much shade?
I'm gonna give him a 4. I was about a 4. Yeah.
Why?
You said why?
Yeah.
I think because, it really isn't too much to do in Green Bay. They don't have nothing to do but go watch the Packers play. That was a good one.
It's well said. Next up, we've got Steelers cornerback Joey Porter Jr., and he was talking about facing the Ravens in Week 18. He said they will rest their starters. The last thing they want is to have their starters embarrassed right before the playoffs. Nobody wants to let us in there. We will kick the door down. What are you rating Joey Porter? It's pretty good.
That might be 5, man. I got to give him a 5 for that. The reason why I give him a 5 for that is because you're talking about embarrassing the #1 seed in the NFL after they've been playing lights out. Like, I know this is a very heated relationship, Steelers, Ravens. I was a part of it. But, man, just slow down a little bit, young fella, man. You don't want none of that Lamar smoke, man. Lamar, if they was playing, it would be bad for y'all. The way they've been beating boys these past few weeks, y'all chill out, man. Steelers is, I got a lot of love for the Steelers. I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. My family all from Pittsburgh. So I got love for the Steelers, but he's pushing a little bit, Porter.
I think a 5 is a good thing. I think if DJax says it's a 5, that's a great thing. Now, Joey Porter Jr., of course, legacy's got his hair or his, where he comes from with dad. So let's talk about dad shade here. Bucs safety Antoine Winfield Jr. He was snubbed from getting a Pro Bowl. His dad, former NFL great, he made his feelings known. We demand a recount. Somebody has some explaining to do. Ain't no way in hell Buda Baker goes to the Pro Bowl ahead of my man with no stats. We ain't going for this bull. Whatever. Somebody need to holla at me. What do you think? He's defending his son for the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I give him a 3. I give him a 3. I mean, Antoine Winfield was a heck of a player. Yeah, he was a heck of a player, Antoine. Your son's obviously a baller as well, and you're not on the field no more, man. Let your son handle that, man. Let the young dudes handle that. But as far as Buda Baker, Buda Baker's a heck of a player. I'm sure. I don't know his statistics on the year, but as far as his name, sometimes people get in off their name too. You know what I'm saying? If you one of them guys, you're gonna get in off your name. If your stats not really there, sometimes that name holds weight too. So if we're gonna go Buda Baker, Antoine Winfield, I probably would have went Buda Baker as well.
How much did you care about a Pro Bowl?
Back in the day, I feel like listen at me back in the day. Earlier in my career, we kind of took pride for it a little more. But after a while, I was like, you really didn't care too much because going into, I feel like at like my second, third Pro Bowl, because I'm a 3-time Pro Bowl. I feel like after my second, third one, it was just like the guys really didn't care too much for it. Like my first one, maybe the second one a little bit. You had like Ray Lewis and you know, Joey Port, some of them guys like that, where you get in there, Troy Polamalu, like, they get you, they gonna hit you. You know what I'm saying? So after that, it kind of like start falling off. You can kind of see it start falling off. So as far as like getting the accolade, I mean, it's always a great accolade, but you know, All Pro I feel like holds a bigger weight. But you know, Pro Bowl is like an All Star. You know, you're the top of the peak. You know what I'm saying? And it definitely holds weight.
DeSean Jackson, I mean, looks like that necklace holds a lot of weight too. My God. We're going to take a short break. We're going to take a short break here. DeSean, we appreciate you. Hopefully, you saying the Eagles disappointed you means they're going to win the Super Bowl. Now, we appreciate you, D-Jax, as always. And Tyreek Hill's not going to come close. There, I said it.
Appreciate it, Kay.